Hold on. All right. That's better.
Hey, Jon, thanks for coming and talking to us at American Songwriter.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to be here.
So good to see you. We have a lot of things to talk about. Honkytonk Hollywood. How would you describe that to me?
Nashville.
Accurate.
I've been asking, I've been doing a lot for the record. And I asked people when they hear Honkytonk Hollywood, what do they hear? And some people say California, but for me, I'm like, it's totally Nashville, from the downtown lights to all the record labels and the songwriting and just the music business, and also getting more glamorous than it used to be, where like it's just kind of turned into this thing that was a little more than just music.
You do reference California quite a bit in the songs, though.
Yeah.
I love that. So this is what I wrote down when I first listened to it. Sounds like Jon Pardi 2.0.
Oh, perfect. I'll take it.
It's a different vibe.
Yeah.
I like it. So when I was listening to it, I was like, there's some rock stuff in here. And then I read about you were influenced by Tom Petty.
Yeah, well, I'm always been influenced by Tom Petty, and I feel like all my records have had a lot of rock in it, but all my records have been so, like, they're a lot more polished than this record. This record has a lot of grit, and that's where you get more of the rock and roll vibes, I feel like, especially with Jay Joyce as producer, and the way we recorded this was not all studio musicians. It was like me, my band, Rob McNally, Jeff Hyde. We recorded this record for 4 weeks, which in Nashville terms is like, what? You did it in 4 weeks? It's usually like 2 days, 2 or 3 days of tracking, and then we'll sing the vocals down the road. And so all that kind of, we lived in the world, and I feel like that's where those sounds and stuff, and especially the rock vibes, come. And Tom Petty was, last year, they surfaced a documentary that they did in like 1997 when he was doing the Wildflowers documentary, or the album. He was doing the album first time working with Rick Rubin, and at the time Rick Rubin was kind of just blowing up, and like, it's Tom Petty. He's like, every 3 or 4 records I like to switch it up and use new producers, because I feel I grow as a songwriter, musician, and a producer, and just an artist. And I took that to heart, because I was at a point where, everything was great, but it was time that I needed something. I can't just do the same thing. And I've been dreaming about a Jay Joyce record for so long, and Tom Petty from Rock and Roll Heaven kind of made it happen. That's why I always kind of shout out him, because he's always been an influence since day one. But this one really moved the needle of like, and it worked out because Jay had a whole month available to do the record, and I had a whole month available, and it just worked out.
Did anything different happen in the studio with Jay Joyce that maybe hasn't happened to you before? What was different?
A lot of things. Time. We had time. Jay owns the studio, and he's very into taking his time on making records and not working with everybody in town. How this one was made, and like how I would change how we do records from now on, is we sang final vocals right after we got done tracking. You're still in the magic of like a brand new song. You still have all of that. You're like still blown away that you just created, especially on this record. There's so many. I think this record's so good, and just like that magic is captured on my vocal performance on this record. I think is some of the best singing I've done on all my records. And I have to, thank Jay for putting me right on that moment and be like, sing it now. It's like, we just got done. He's like, nah, man, do it. You got it. And some we couldn't do because the songs weren't done yet. But even like, we were going to be done next week, and we're like right back in it. Like, I've done records where it took 6 months to sing vocals. And since it was 4 weeks in the same spot, I wasn't bush hogging, I wasn't mowing the lawns or weed eating or like feeding the cows. I wasn't like working my allergies up. And so I was just in the studio, and it worked out. I never got just full steam ahead.
I'm going to second that you're singing better than ever. Like, it's such a good... I listened to the album top to bottom 3 or 4 times. Not even intentionally just trying to keep listening. It was just so good, John.
Well, thank you. It just feels good, right? I mean,
It feels great.
I've had this record done since July of last year and can't wait to talk about it. And still, I did 2 days of listening parties. But then I wanted to hear the other songs that we weren't like spotlighting because they're so good. And you can only, you know, it is 17 songs. It's great to listen to. But in the short term talking about, there's a lot of stuff to talk about.
There is, and I want to talk about a couple of the songs. Rush. Okay, that might be my new anthem.
Rush.
Yes.
Yes.
That was literally the last song I listened to this morning before I went out because it just puts you in such a good mood. Talk about that song.
The bass line and the drums. Rush I wrote in 2019. And it was really when me and Summer were starting getting serious. And, you know, as a songwriter, we're always digging around in our heads to try and find a title. And I love single word titles. Like as a songwriter, if you can get a single word title that's cool. And Rush, everybody thought I was talking about the band Rush, but no. But it does have like an arena rock anthem, like 80s rock to it, but which is fun. And we wanted to push the boundaries of like the bass and the guitar. And I remember I wrote the bass line. I wrote that bass line, do 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 do, and it just kind of had this sexy vibe. And it was really digging into like when I first met Summer. Like when you first meet somebody you fall in love with, like there's like a rush, right? There's always a rush. And as a marriage, all you do is like counseling, whatever. You just want to get that rush back, and you try to do it. And that's the magic of marriage. You try to always get that flame back. But that one that represents that first like kiss, the first everything, and it's just got that excitement to it.
It's so good. I want to talk about another song, your current single, Friday Night Heartbreaker. Top 30 now, I think.
Yep, finally.
Give me the story behind it.
Friday Night Heartbreaker, it's a spooky kind of vibe to it, and it's just like a hot girl anthem, I feel like, for girls. I just saw girls like getting ready, like, I'm gonna break some fool's heart tonight. You know, like, I don't know, I'm not a girl, but I just thought like I could just see, but that's just like a little part, but it's got an infectious melody. I love the darkness and the minor chords, the swift and fast melody at some points, but also I like taking something that's like very contemporary and then we got fiddle and steel on it. We try to morph it into this like really country thing, and I thought we did a pretty good job. And then like, you know, you get a lot of people, oh, it's different. I was like, that's what artists are supposed to do. They're supposed to do something different. And I always say like, hey, you know what song they said was different? It was Dirt on My Boots. They're like, that's different. I was like, not saying that now, are they?
I mean, it might have been different, but it was a #1 hit different.
I know. So we'll see what happens with Friday Night Heartbreaker, but it's been climbing, and you know, we'll see it on TikTok or like, you know, when they post it and do the little videos. And I will say every song off this record that we put on socials, played live, have been very reactive, like just instantly. And it's been so fun.
This is the first album you've released since you've been a father.
Yep. And that's why there's a little less like party, and it's just a little more like love making and partying, but also family. And it's a little, I guess it's a little more where I'm at just in life in general, and having topics that I haven't been able to sing about. Not that I didn't want to sing about it, but you know, being a dad and, you know, going through the whole asking Summer's father if I can marry her, and like you kind of live that song to where you really put that emotion in that recording, and like you feel it, and they feel it when you sing it. And not all the time you get a song like She Drives Away, but even if he went to work, like hearing, you know, a song like that reminded me of my father, reminds me of me going to work, you know, me putting food on the table, and so much more that, I don't know, it's just, there's a little more like live life a little longer than the last record.
How do you think, in songs and in life, how has fatherhood changed you, do you think?
A little more cautious,
Okay.
you know, a little more like, you know, try to dodge death. It's more than I used to. And just a little more careful, patience, you know.
Okay.
That definitely is a big thing for fatherhood and marriage. And so, yeah, there's definitely a growing and learning, you know. So I think parents learn, they figure it out. So what does it mean to be a parent? That means you figure it out.
I like it. Let's talk about your tour.
Oh, the tour.
How excited are we?
Any new record with a new tour, especially because we had Mr. Saturday Night, and we extended that with like 2 years because it was a great tour. The show was great, and the album, Mr. Saturday Night album, was great, and Mr. Saturday Night itself, we'd open as, well, they call me Mr. Saturday Night. And then now, fast forward, we open up with Honkytonk Hollywood, and it's just like this like soulful rock country, and it's open up and you just feel good. And it's like you said, it's like this whole new chapter of something different. Something different that you get to experience live once you hear the record. And to do that for the first time is always so exciting. And that's what this tour's gonna bring. And we got great artists. We got Corey Kent coming out. Cassie Ashton is just put her record out. Really great. Summer's a big Cassie Ashton fan, so Summer had a big part of making sure Cassie was on tour. And so yeah, it's a fun time.
Family coming out with you?
Building a new tour bus. Might be done. It's supposed to be done by the end of March. We'll see. But yeah, we're planning on bringing the kiddos. Not all the time. Some are gonna pick. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to go to a kid's store with kids.
Right.
Like
You're not wrong.
Yeah, like we're gonna go to where kids love going, but it's still hard to get there. So like touring with kids is even harder. But it's fun and it's experience, and we all get to be together.
Has fame changed you at all?
What fame?
So the answer is no.
No, that's the.
You have to be recognized. You're tall.
I'm shocked I'm not recognized half the time. But it's funny, like being like a cowboy and looking like a cowboy. You can really just blend in with the cowboys. That way you're just a cowboy. So a lot of times I go, I'm just a dusty old cowboy getting off the rodeo circuit. How you doing, ma'am? But some people notice me. I've had some people notice me like, how? I'm in my pajamas. Like what imagery have I put out that you know that's what I look like in pajamas? I'm just a joke. But like, it's here and there. I mean, I still go to Ace Hardware. I always say, where would you see me? It used to be Losers, and you still see me at Losers here in Nashville. Love that bar. But like Ace Hardware, Home Depot, Tractor Supply, and the Co-op, main stop. And like, that's mainly probably where you're gonna run into me.
Okay.
And my Co-op guy, shout out Davidson County Co-op, they're great. But yeah, no, I mean, I do get recognized, but it's funny. I can blend right in too.
Last question. What's next? Is there going to be another Jay Joyce album? What do you want to do? What's next? The next chapter for Jon Pardi after this one?
Same thing. I always do. Trying to make another badass record. We do have a time booked with Jay in November. Really trying to get on to not taking 3 years to make a record. And it's not my fault. It's kind of UMG's fault. I'm just throwing UMG under the bus. It's just I'm on a big label, and everybody likes to have their windows and when to put records out, and it's just the goal. Now, will I reach it? I don't know, but to reach goals, you gotta start. But just be the best dad, raise a family, and make great music, and keep fans happy, and a little less beer, a little more diet.
You quit drinking.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was just like totaling, like my face was getting so big, and I'm like, even when we were doing interviews, I was like, yeah, look good. Mm-hmm. See what it's like cutting out alcohol. Like I hate it because everybody was right. They're like, well, you're sick more. Well, you shouldn't have that last beer, or like whatever. Like I could sing better. I wake up feeling great. Like, but I miss it. But I look good, feel good, sing good. And I'm not as antsy to, I don't know. I'm still antsy and still grumpy, so I don't know. It's called life, guys, with or without.
Well, either way.
Still got to deal with it.
It's a great album, Jon.
Thank you.